Hello, it is Mrs. Griffin with the Unit 1 Lesson 10 video about Pythagorean theorem. So by the end of this video, I'm hoping that you can solve right triangle problems using the Pythagorean theorem. So, opening exercise, please do on your own. And on to our vocabulary. So first off, this entire lesson is based on right triangles. So in a right triangle, you have to have a right angle. And then you have your three sides. And depending on where the right angle is, the sides are different. So a right triangle, like we said, is going to have a right angle. And that right angle will be equal to 90, which means the other two angles will also add up to 90. And then we have two types of sides. We have the two sides that are perpendicular and actually form the right angle. Those are called legs. And then we have the side across from the right angle, which is also the longest side, and that's called the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is the goal, is what we're trying to find to begin with Pythagorean theorem. We can also use it to find one of the missing legs. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which means that if you take your right triangle and you have your one side and you square it, and then your other side and square it, it will equal the square of the hypotenuse. So you have your legs are a and b, and that really doesn't matter which is which. I tend to make a the short one, b the middle one, and then your hypotenuse is always the c, and it's always the one across from your right angle. And all you're doing is plugging in and solving from this equation. There are some shortcut ones which say that in your right triangle, if your two legs are 3 and 4, shortcut, easy to remember, that the hypotenuse would be 5, or any multiple of this. So you could also use 6, 8, and 10 if you wanted. Same thing with these other three triples. They're just shortcut ones we use a lot, so if you happen to see it, you can quickly solve it without doing the whole workout. Okay, now, one of the things that comes up a lot that uses Pythagorean theorem is an altitude. An altitude is if you have any kind of triangle or different shapes. It's a segment that's drawn from one of the vertices straight, I hate to say straight down, but it's perpendicular to the side that it comes to. Okay, if that is a right triangle, that works, but any kind of triangle can have that. So we could have an obtuse one or an acute one or whatever, and we could draw a triangle that would go from one vertex, and it would go perpendicular to the opposite side. So sometimes that requires you to extend that side, and then your vertex or your altitude would be outside of the triangle. Other times you can go straight from a vertex to the opposite side without having to extend the side of the triangle. Okay, and so I'm highlighting the altitudes. We use that for a lot of things. But in the Pythagorean theorem, that happens because when you do that, you end up creating right triangles. Okay. If you have an equilateral or an isosceles triangle, and you draw a vertex from a side where the two, or from a corner where the two lines that make up that corner are congruent, here, or any one of these in an equilateral triangle, then that altitude is going to bisect both the angle it's coming from and the side that it goes to, and cut it in half. And the last thing that applies here is perimeter. Perimeter is if you have a triangle or really any shape and you take the side lengths and add them together, they would equal the perimeter. Okay, so let's do some examples. On number 1, we have a right triangle. I can tell the right angle is right here, which means that across from it would be C, the hypotenuse, and then it doesn't really matter which is which here for the other two, A and B. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our Pythagorean theorem, and we're going to take the two smaller sides and square them, so 3 and 4, and that would equal the hypotenuse squared as well. And you're going to square both, and you're going to add them together. And then to figure out C, we have to get rid of the squared, and the opposite of squared is square root. And so the square root of C squared, those would cancel each other out and just leave you with the C. Square root of 25 is 5, and then these are kilometers for your unit. Now this happens to also be the 3, 4, 5 triple. So if you want, and you remember that, you just write it down, and then the side that was missing out of that would have to be the 5. Now remember, when you do that, the longest one has to be the hypotenuse. So if you see a 3 and a 4, but one of those is the hypotenuse on your particular picture, this triple would not apply. All right, number 3. You have your A or B or C on here, but remember, across from your 90 is the C, and then the other two are A and B. So when we plug into Pythagorean theorem, we're doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, 5 squared is 25, and 13 squared is 169. When you subtract 25 from both sides, you're going to get 144. And then when you square root that, you will get that b is 12, and it's in meters. And again, this one is a 5, a 12, and a 13. The 13 is on the hypotenuse, so it is the longest side, and then 5 is one of the legs, so the other one would have to be 12. Okay, again we have a right triangle, and across from the right angle is your hypotenuse. The other two are A and B. X squared plus x squared, because they're both the same, equals 10 squared. That's 2x squared equals 100. You have to add the like terms. Then you can divide the coefficient away. You can't square root it until it's just the x squared, or whatever the letter happens to be. And then we're going to square root both sides. This says nothing about rounding, so we leave it in radical form. Radical 50. Okay, so you're square rooting both sides to get the x squared to become an x. All right, doing that same idea. We don't know what these are, but they are the same. So we have x squared for both of them, because across from your 90 will be your hypotenuse, and that one's the square root of 450 squared. All right, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So this will be 2x squareds, and when you square something that's in a square root, just like if you were to square root something that was squared, it goes away and just leaves you the number. So then we're going to divide by 2 on both sides, and 450 divided by 2 is 225. And then when you square root both sides, you get x only, equals, and when you do the square root of 225, that works out evenly to 15, and this is in centimeters. So this one, it didn't work out evenly. That's why we just left it at radical 50. All right, number 5. The diagram below models the roof of a house. What is the height of the roof? Now notice, this is 3 and 3. That makes the whole triangle isosceles. So when we draw an altitude in and get that perpendicular, we are bisecting the side down here. So this 4 would become a 2 and a 2. Okay, and so we need to know what the height is. You can put x, you can put whatever letter makes sense for this picture. And then we're just going to look at one of the two triangles here. And by just looking at one of them, we can set up the equation that this would be A, this would be C, and this would be B, and we can do 2 squared plus x squared equals 3 squared. And 4 plus x squared equals 9. Subtract 9 from both sides and get 5. And then when you square root, the square root of 5 doesn't work out evenly, and this doesn't say to round, so we're just going to leave it at radical 5, and then we'll put the m in for meters. Same thing is happening on number 6, because they're telling us this is an equilateral triangle, which means that this would be 20, 20, and 20 all the way around. Okay, and that would mean that because we're drawing the altitude in there, it's going to bisect the side on the bottom and make it 10. And we want to know the height of the altitude, and then just like the one before, we're going to set up that equation. So we have 10 squared, b squared, or x squared, and then c is always the one across from the right angle, so 20 squared. So 100 plus x squared equals 400. Subtract 100 from both sides and you get 300. And then when you square root, that doesn't work out evenly, but this time they're saying to the nearest thousandths. So if we put the square root of 300 into the calculator, it would be 17.320, which means that it would be 17.32. And it would be centimeters. All right, number 7, same thing. We've got a right triangle here. So this is the right angle. 17 would be C. And so we would do x squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared and solve. So when I square the 15, I get 225, and the 17, 289. Subtract 225 from both sides, you'll get 64. And when you square root both sides, you'll get x equals 8, and it's in feet. Number 8, a whole nother right triangle, because we know that a square has right angles and it has all the sides the same. So these are congruent, and we're finding across from the right angle the hypotenuse. So 6 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. You're getting 36 and 36, which is 72. And then when you square root both sides, you're going to get the square root of 72. It doesn't say to round, so don't, because that doesn't work out evenly, and it's inches. Keep writing the units as you go. Diagram below shows PQRS with diagonals PR and QS drawn. We want to find QS. So this is a rectangle. So using our rectangle properties, remember that opposite sides are congruent and the angles are right angles. So just look at the blue right triangle and we can find QS that way, because that'll be C. So we have 2 squared plus 2 radical 3 squared equals c squared. This is 4, and you can do one of two things. You can throw this straight in the calculator the way it is, or you can square both parts. 2 squared would be 4 times radical 3 squared would be 3, because the squared and the square root would cancel in that part. And then continue. So 4 plus 4 times 3, 12 plus 4 is 16. And then you would square root both sides and get 4. And we don't have a unit here, so leave. Triangle ABC is a right triangle. The shortest side is 7. The longest side is 10. Remember that your longest side is always your hypotenuse. What's the third side? So on this one, we know our hypotenuse, like in number 2, and we need to solve. So we're going to square 7 and 100. Then we're going to subtract 49 from both sides, which would be 51. And then when you square root both sides, you'll get x. And this one says nearest meter. So again, we're rounding. We're going to get an approximate value. So you're going to do the square root of 51. And you are going to get 7.1414. So to the nearest meter, that would be just 7 meters. Number 11. We have a square. We have a side of length 12. That means all the sides are 12. Terrible square. And what is the diagonal? So just draw 1 in, because they're only asking for a diagonal, and make your right triangle there. So remember, you have a right angle. Across from that would be C, and that's what we don't know. A and B would be both 12. So 12 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared would be 288 when you square them and add. And then when you square root both sides, this one says to the nearest 10th. So again, put it in the calculator, square root of 288, and round it to the nearest 10th. Now in this one, 0.9 would round up, but then we would have 17.0. If they say a nearest something and it ends up rounding the whole, you need to make sure that you put that spot. So if it says 10th, you need a 10th spot, and it's centimeters. And number 12, Jose wants to buy a TV, so that's going to be a rectangle. And it says the height of his entertainment center is 27, and the height and width have a width to height ratio of 4:3. So that would be 4x and 3x. Now these are the same side, so I can do 3x equals 27 and find that x is 9. If I plug that back in down here, I'm going to get 36 for the side. They want the diagonal. So now I know 27 and 36 equals part of the Pythagorean theorem, and that would equal your c squared. So square them both and add them. And you can see if I do that, I get 2025 equals c squared. And they said, what is the diagonal measurement? So when I square root this, I will get a decimal. And so we are not going to round it because we are not told to. And it is inches. Okay, number 13. A 13-foot ladder is leaning against a building. And the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the building. How high up is the top of the ladder? So that's your variable, A or B, because the 13 is C across from the right angle. So we have 5 squared plus B squared equals 13 squared, which would be 25 plus B squared equals 169. And subtract 25 from both sides, I get 144. And when you square root that, you'll get 12, and it's in feet. Number 14, what is the length of a side of a square whose diagonal measures 3 radical 2? The sides of the square we don't know, but we know they are the same, so I'll make them both x. So we have x squared plus x squared equals 3 radical 2 squared. That's 2x squared, and just like the other, this would be 9 times 2, which would be 18. Divide by 2 on both sides, and you will get that x equals 3.